I'm not sticking my tongue in any of my friends' throats, but we'll smooch.
Bottom on bottom, a great poet said this once. I got trauma. You're so sick. All because you wanted to get for an hour. Ooh. Diva. We call that the gay audacity. Welcome to Poison Touch, the podcast where a host and a fan favorite give you all the best and worst advice to deal with all of life's predicaments. It's the start of season 4, episode 1. I had a lovely January off, and I am joined this month by, as I said, fan favorite, soothsayer, truthsayer, show hosting, bad bitch. You know, you can see her out partying. You can see her out delivering monologues for the girls.
Well, if you see me, no, you didn't. You don't see me, I don't see you, girl.
Welcome back to the show. One of my favorite three-peats, Brian. Oh, not Brian. The Afro B. B, how you doing? No government names.
Let's clear up the name situation now.
Okay, let's clear it up.
I get a lot of questions about this. And
not the Afro.
Not the Afro. My name's not fucking Rob. It was never Rob. It's the Afro B. My name is Brian. And when I was in college, somebody just suggested signing my emails off with B because it was cute. So then I went by B a little bit. And then I changed my Instagram and I started growing my hair out to the Afro B. I don't know why the girls are jumping through so many hoops to get that. And at first it just started off very in community, but I was out maybe twice in the past, 8 months. Okay. And two different people. It was a straight man and on another occasion, a woman who was just like, "Oh, you're Rob." And I must have shot them the craziest look because I felt them freeze. And do I feel bad about that? No, I don't. Because that's what's going to happen if you call me Rob. I might shoot you a crazy look, but I could just shoot you.
Nothing to the Robs and the Roberts of the world, but
no, everything to the Robs and the Roberts.
It's just simply not you. It's simply not you.
It's just not. Look, that's not me. I don't know what they got going on.
Because if the Instagram was if Rob was your name, would it be the as fuck Rob? Because the Afro is its own word. It doesn't make sense.
And then people tell me, they're like, B, you should just acquiesce, put an underscore in it or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, an underscore?
Underscores are for broken.
I'm not putting a fucking underscore. This isn't 2008. This is in MySpace. Why am I using an underscore? Simply just read what's right in front of you, girl. But it doesn't bother me that much these days. Despite that whole rant. I'll be like, no, it's B, it's Brian, but let's get it right.
Because you got to get it right.
It's always right on the flyers. So,
okay. And that's
whether or not there's a space or not a space, some people have been adding a space, not a space, and they're like, is it a space? Is it not a space? And I'm like, I don't know, girl. They know what a TI is. Mm-hmm. I don't mind it either way, but sometimes I'm like, girl, delete the space. Make the girls engage with the title, with the name, with what's out there, girl. Y'all can read all kinds of BS online. You can read this too.
Okay. How you been? What's been new?
Oh, I've been good. I just had the most wonderful restful week this past week because I've just kind of been on go, very busy. Had a little cold, got over it, and just been resting. You know, I work, I socialize.
How was your Valentine's Day?
Well, Diva was in Kentucky.
Oh yeah, she had a gig. She had a gig over there.
Yes, well, you know, in our house we work. I don't know about everybody else, but we go to work in this house. But before that, and also Diva had a cold too, so it was. We were pretty immobilized because we were kind of sick at the same time. But we did a little indoor day. We watched our favorite TV shows, movies. We had some really good food that I ordered. Hey, dinner, whatever it's at a restaurant or in your house, baby, it's dinner. You eating, you better get into this. Mm-hmm. So it was really nice. How was yours?
It was chill. John and I don't really do much for Valentine's Day. Not because we're anti-Valentine's Day. I just think it's kind of a stupid holiday. But we got brunch. We went to a little breakfast spot nearby. Mm-hmm. Real good. I got me some chilaquiles that were tasty. And then we went to go see DJ Gay Bash perform at the Hot Bitch Party Saturday night, which was really
Oh,
fun to see
yeah. Saturday
her
was
smart bar
something.
debut. Yeah, we just thought it was really fun.
It was a lot going on. Valentine's Day is also really competitive. Like I don't like feeling like I have to fight for things. I
No,
fight every day in my life. I don't want to fight for a restaurant reservation. It's too packed of a day.
no.
But the actual Saturday, I did go to the Firehouse party. I didn't go to Hot Bitch, but I went to Firehouse. Saint Devera was playing. DJ Wolfie was playing. It was at DS Tequila. I guess, girl, they
Hmm.
opened it up for events.
For events, yeah, it's the
I
only time
believe
they're
that's
ever
it.
open.
And I do miss their margaritas back when it was open. If you don't know about a DS margarita, they used to give you a margarita this big, girl. It was $15. And they
Yeah,
had great flavors, great staff. Every time I said, could I do a little Hennessy instead of tequila? They said, no problem. We'll put it right on
the
it.
big old thing of the trash can nachos. It was just like that
Exactly.
big
It gave you
Reynolds
everything you
wrap,
needed. We're
gigantic Tupperware thing of just nachos
the
piled
portions
high.
were everything. We're losing relics
Yeah.
in the community.
Hmm.
And I don't know what's going on, but I know it needs to stop.
Something like that. I've asked you this several times. You've been here a couple times. I think last time I asked you specifically what your history was with Pokemon. This time we're gonna keep it real simple. What's your favorite Pokemon?
I don't know those people.
And that's what I figured.
Um, I Pokemon went to the polls in 2016
Oh
and
hey,
Hillary
you
did
know
not
what?
carry it over the finish line, unfortunately. But I don't really have a history of Pokemon. I grew up kind of gaming, kind of not gaming. It's just never one of the things I fell into. And then it had a resurgence, and by the time it had its resurgence, maybe like 10 years ago, it just wasn't a thing. I respect the Pokemon community, just not in my interest. I know there's Bulbasaur.
You know, I'll say this. I think if you have not been into gaming and you're trying to get into gaming or you just want to try something new, I think now is a good time to get into gaming. I think there's tons of stuff coming out that's very cool, even if it's not Pokemon related. There's lots of little fun little co-op games that I think you and Diwa can get into. Just, kind of sit on the couch and play a little something here. I think it's a good time. Like John and I just finished this one game called It Takes Two. It's split screen. You play as this couple who's like getting a divorce and then their daughter unwittingly turns them into little like paper mache dolls, and they have to learn how to work together and rediscover their love for each other. Very cute
Kind of like a little
game.
Pixar movie.
It basically was a Pixar movie. It was really cute. So
I used to
there's gaming
game when I was
stuff.
like in middle school, but the way my brain works is I end up hyperfixating on things. So I would spend so much time. Even when I was in college and I was in film classes, like editing videos and stuff, I hyperfixate on stuff like that. And so I other areas of my life end
I'm
up being
telling you,
sacrificed because
this
now I'm
is
just
why
game.
you need a little co-op game. You only play it when you're with Devo, right? It's like you're like that's your thing you do together. That way you don't hyperfixate because you're like, all right, I'm only gonna play it when we're in the house and we don't got anything to watch. You know what I mean?
Well, we always got something to watch, and D was always here. See, you
Oh,
underestimate my
see.
ability to throw everything to the wind and sit down and stimulate my brain for a few hours.
Okay, wait,
But I
real
have been
quick.
getting into audiobooks. I find that those are working well for me.
Okay, I could do
I've
an
always
audiobook.
loved to read. I'm still working on this big ass Fire and Blood book. I'm on page like 284 out of fucking 1,000. But sometimes you can't sit down and physically read. So instead of listening to music on the way to work and coming back or doing just transitory things, listen to an audiobook. And I find that's helping keep the thoughts on a forward track.
This is not a promo. Do you have Libby? It's an app.
No, I ain't got Libby. I got Spotify.
Okay, download Libby because Spotify only gives you but so many hours a month, right?
I don't know. I haven't
Okay.
hit 8 per hours per month,
I was listening to The Shining and I hit my hours. They cut me off. I said, oh,
but that's a big ass book. I would have cut you.
it's a big book. They cut me off and then I had to get it from the library. But I'll say this, download Libby, you connect it with your library card and you have like access to thousands and thousands of audiobooks, tons of good stuff. And you
Oh,
can
it's from
have,
the library.
yeah, it's from the library. It's a free app.
Oh, look at that. You better
Yeah.
plug the library. You talking
I
about no
love
promo.
the libraries are important. Libraries are important.
Listen, as we just discussed a couple minutes ago, the girls are struggling with reading. And I said, this has been my number one topic of focus of crises in America.
Okay.
well, maybe not number one. It has been knocked down a few
Well,
rungs.
there's a lot happening.
There's a lot going on, girl, but I'm sticking to it. The children got to learn how to read. If the children can't read, the children can't discern. If the children can't discern, they don't know what propaganda is. And if the children
Hmm.
don't know what
Hmm.
propaganda is, then, girl, that's how we get to where we are today.
Yeah. Yup. And on that note, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back with the advice for this month.
Period.
We're back from our break, and we have an update to start things off today. This update is from Chicago. They titled this one "I'm Back." They did not say what their name was prior, so I had to go through and hunt this down. I'm pretty sure I got the right person. I'm back. If this was not your original question and I got the wrong person, then I'm sorry. But I think I got the right bitch. They write, remember that guy Dick I told you about a couple months back? Well, I texted him and told him that he was in the wrong for giving me the impression that there was space for a friendship. I sent him the screenshots of our past texts to show him that he was very misleading with what he wanted. He tried to make it seem like I was obsessive because we hooked up once. I used my gay reverse card and pointed out that he shared his number with me and that if he didn't want anything to do with me or be my friend, why give me the impression that we could strictly be friends or possible friends with benefits? I'm sorry that I'm all over the place. He just made me feel a little mad about everything. My point that I wanted to express was to be very clear about what you want from me. Don't play like you were cool with me only to suddenly switch up on me. That's the update. The original question was, I've been dealing with some situationships. I met a guy on Hinge. He's from Gold Coast. Every time we meet up, he ghosts me and the cycle repeats itself. We'll call him Dick. I seriously want to meet Dick, but I get the feeling that Dick doesn't want to meet me. How do I move forward? Um, I'm glad that you stood your ground and you let him know what was up. I don't know if this is something I would have done. I probably would have just kept it kicking.
Right. I was going to say you just move forward.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, you're not going to get people to do what you want them to do if they are being inconsistent in that way. And I've been in this situation on both sides. I've been the one who sent the text. I've been the one who have not responded to the text. You just never know what's going on in somebody's life. I think on one hand, people internalize a lot of emotional things. They, go in with expectations and hopes. It's not bad to have expectations and hopes, but you also have to deal with what's in front of you. You feel like you're fighting too hard for something. It means you probably should not invest too much more energy
It's
into
probably
that
not too worth it. And
because
that's
you're
not like a
already
reflection on yourself so much. He could have a million things going on behind the scenes that could lead to him not putting much into this. Now, to send him screenshots of the past text to be like, you're misleading, I don't know. Because on the one hand, I feel like, well, somebody's got to tell her, right? But then on the other hand, I don't know if I want to be that person. I probably would have just been like, all right, well, Dick was a failure and keep it moving.
right. I operate off the assumption if we talked, we already talked, you know what's going on. I may not know what's going on. You may know what's going on. I think the best thing to do is say, hey, um, this isn't going anywhere. Communication is not how I want it to be for a friendship, for a situation, for whatever. Like you could set those boundaries, but again, and I keep seeing this online. People say boundaries are things for yourself and not for other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
'Cause when they become for other people, they become rules. So now it seems like, and let me tell any new watchers here, I'm gonna read you, girl, but I'm gonna read you with love. But it seems like you're trying to make your boundaries a rule for someone else. Even if you don't have those malicious intentions for like trying to manipulate the same thing, people are who they are. And if they're not ready, even for situations to deal with those things or hook up and not, do communication, things like that, then yes, they should say, don't expect X, Y, and Z from me. If I text you, it is because I don't want to be friends. That communication is expected, but there are also people out there who will do that. But if you don't allow yourself to move on, if you continue to text after you know that you're likely not going to get a response back or one
Yeah.
that you want to hear, then why are we still sending the text?
Yeah. And I think part of this is why I don't give my number out, you know? But I know that I'm also in a place where I'm not really looking to add to the friend group that much, you know?
Right. Like,
And if it happens organically, yeah, sure, come into the friend group. But I'm also not like,
and non-communication is communication. You don't want to talk to
Yes.
me? That's cool.
Oh
You're
yeah.
not the only person I could talk to. As a matter of fact, I want you to buck up, sweetie. I
You know
want
what?
you to put on your hottest outfit. I want you to go out, whether it's at a bar, a speakeasy, a cocktail lounge,
The
or
Lucky Horseshoe.
it's not there.
You know
Oh,
what? Come see me at the bar. Come tip me. Yes, come
oh,
there.
go
Oh
see the
wait,
girl.
we can swap.
Go
Go
see
to
the girl.
Atmosphere. Go to Atmosphere, and you can come tip me there on Fridays.
Yeah, go to atmosphere, girl. Otherwise, proceed with caution. Um,
But even there is with caution because it's all just bears up there. If you know the bears are gonna take you under their wing, their
y'all got some new darts up in there because last time I
their
was in there, the
undeodorated
darts,
ring.
all the darts were broken, and then all the little game
Last
machines
I checked, there were
were
darts in there
broke.
that were still working. People were playing at it the other day.
All right, I'm about to
Maybe they
say.
fixed it because I know the Dart League comes in like once a month, so maybe they had to get it right for the Dart League.
Just get it right for somebody. I should never walk in there while you open and then the darts are broken. I thought this was a business, an establishment. Come on now, let's log in and just order some online.
They fixed well, they fixed it because there was like a bunch of straight people playing during Drag Race the other day.
Oh, oh.
That
You
feels
see
like an
what happens?
invasion of a
See what
space.
happens when you get rid of dancing poles. Now the girls, the straights are coming in into the gay bars and they're playing darts and they're watching drag race. Everybody's a little bit too comfortable.
Okay, Chicago. I'm glad you moved past Dick. I think that's really kind of where we can tie the bow on the end of that update. I'm glad you moved past Dick. Like we said, get real hot, go out,
But
find
in the
something
name of my
else.
late great hit, keep it moving.
And don't give out your number to people. Just give out Instagrams like I do. Someone was at the bar the other day, and I was telling them about. It was on Saturday. They were asking about the hot bitch party. They were like, "Well, send it to me." Opened up their text messages. I said, "No, open up Instagram. I'll send it to you on Instagram."
Right. Do what you got to
Easy,
do.
easy.
But don't sulk.
I give people the podcast Instagram primarily. If you're at the bar and you ask for my Instagram, that's the Instagram you're getting.
Because this is business.
This is business. Thank you. And thank you. I appreciate you all for listening. Thank you. Let's move on to the first question. I actually have a couple questions. Well, one of them, I just want to move quick. We're going to move past this very quickly because I got this submission in January 10th and I was very confused.
Okay.
It's titled, I'm Sad. It's from Other. They wrote, we were seeing each other for almost a year and you never posted me or took pictures with me. We end things because after all that time, you still didn't want to make it official. Then a few weeks later, I see your Snap story with a shirtless man in your kitchen. And just like that, all my insecurities were validated. I can't look in the mirror too long or I'll cry. To this, I want to say, I don't use Snapchat, so I can only assume that this was for maybe December's guest. If this was for Ron, I have no idea. Point is, therapy. Let's work on a sliding scale. Let's talk to that lady.
I
Yeah,
see. I see. We're going to have to give some tough love this episode. Stand up.
stand up.
Stand up, girl.
And Ron is a very pretty man, so I can understand feeling a little dejected about, not wanting to, whatever. Point is, if you can't look in the
Somebody sent
mirror
that
too
in for
long,
Ron specifically.
I don't know if they sent it in for Ron specifically, but I don't use Snapchat and I've been with John for 3.5 years, so I can only assume it's not for me. Unless it's for you.
I don't know who these people are.
I don't know.
I didn't have any shirtless man in my kitchen.
I don't have a shirtless man in my kitchen. I'm the shirtless man in my kitchen, and I don't use
I got a
Snapchat.
shirtless lady in my kitchen. Her name's Diwa Oro.
So I don't know who it's for. If they want to write in and they want to let me know who it's for, we can open up the conversation. But for now, I just wanted to read it and put it out there that I don't know who this is for, so I can't advise on this. All I can say is get some therapy and talk to the lady.
Girl, stop. You know what the problem is? Everybody has rebranded obsession as yearning. There's nothing wrong with there's an art to yearning. Yearning is something, it's a gift you give when somebody is ready to receive it. Yearning is like, I love you so much, I want to do so much, or I'm so into you this much that you're gonna get all this passion from me. When
Wuthering
it's not
Heights.
reciprocated and you're memorizing the dates, times, and the headless figures in the kitchen. Listen, mama. One, you got to know when people are fucking with you. Can I curse on this podcast?
Oh,
I'm but
yes, of
anyway,
course. What do you mean?
I don't know. I don't know. With somebody fucking with you, girl. You gotta sometimes you gotta I say something often is you gotta have some pride about yourself. You know what I mean? And I say this to somebody again who's been there. I've been like, but you just let those emotions out, but you gotta emotionally regulate yourself and pick your
Hmm.
battles. If they're not into you, we're not into them. And the world, it spins on, it goes on. The sun will rise again.
Yeah.
You will meet so many other people, but when you're fixating on this one person who
Yeah.
doesn't want you, I think it speaks to some deeper issues that might be happening, which is to your point of go talk to that lady because then you get to the point of you want to be with this person or you want to be with a person. And like I hyperfixate on those video games, we can hyperfixate on people too. And that can override logic and reasoning. And it's really just a detriment to you. Like
Yeah.
you're hurting, and then this other person who's is in the kitchen with somebody else, is like not even thinking about you. So I think when you frame it that way, if you still can't stand up, girl, then it might be time to go talk to that lady. But that should be a sobering realization. You crying in the mirror, in the mirror.
In the mirror.
First of all, the dramatics. I know this is a queen. You're crying in the mirror, girl. And you telling me while you looking in the mirror and the tears are falling down your face and you're thinking about how you are opening up with
Listening to Robin
imagine extreme enthusiasm of a story of a man who's supposed to another man who don't want to be with you and is
in
not
the
supposed to be,
corner watching you
and
kiss
you're
her.
crying in the mirror. Rewind that girl and listen to it again. He ain't
Sometimes
thinking about you and you're crying in the mirror.
we gotta step outside of ourselves a little bit, just a little bit.
Like at some point, you do have to be so fucking for real.
Yeah, I think a lot of that energy could be directed into tons of other things. And I get it. It's winter. The girls are feeling sad and depressed, and
Depression,
the
loneliness.
sun goes away at 3 p.m. And today was gorgeous, but in general, it's been rough. This was sent early January, so I could see how it was a little rough, cold. The winter front was coming through, and everywhere down to Miami was cold. So
Right.
I get it, but
Turn
let's
off the Lana Del Rey, girls. Turn it off.
turn it off.
She's not serving you. She's serving cunt, but she's not serving you.
She's serving that police officer that she's dating.
She's serving that too.
That too. Let's move on to the next one. This, I'm sorry, that was rude. This is from Mesmer. It's listed under other. They write, babes, why is it so hard to get a job? Oh my God. I keep on trying to get a job and they're only hiring for director or senior positions. And it's like, well, where are we going to find the directors if nobody's getting the opportunity to grow their work experience? I have stepped outside of corporate life and decided to be a bartender over the past several years. So I can't speak to this as much, but I know that you dabble in corporate girly things every so often. So I figured you might be someone who could answer this question, right?
um, yeah, girl. There are certain things we just can't control. Everything's a shit show. AI is throwing out like probably, I
All the
imagine,
applications.
80% of applications. They're looking for very specific things. The people who are investing and implementing this AI likely don't know that well how it works. We're in the very early stages of this new technological era. So there's a lot of kinks to be worked out. There are issues of money. And I think corporations, companies, from local businesses to large corporations are struggling because they really don't know. And none of us know what's going to happen from one day to the next. Unfortunately, we have the most impotent, narcissistic, fraudulent man to be in the office,
Mm-hmm.
and he's
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot of things that are making things very unstable. So you just gotta You just got to ride the wave. I think that's the hardest
Yeah.
part about life is when you don't have that privilege to not be affected by those things, to take time off of work or,
And you know
things.
what? Hold on, real
Oh,
quick,
go ahead.
not to cut you off, but do want to fold in a second question here because someone else submitted. Everything you're saying applies to that question. So, real quick, I also want to cover Sick and Tired, who writes, how do we continue living life acting normal while the government is doing what it's doing? I'm exhausted. I just think everything that we're talking about right now also applies to that question. And so I just wanted to fold them in there, kind of do a two
All
birds,
right.
one stone situation. Now, please
No, that
continue.
makes sense. Yeah, in short, most of us don't have the individual power to make things happen. I think sometimes you just have to ride it out and you have to see what goes on. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be involved. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be educating yourself. It doesn't mean not to resist, but it does mean finding a healthy balance of where to sort of manage expectations
Yeah,
like a little
okay.
bit better. I don't think it's good to internalize like I mean, and it's hard because it's a job. Like this is your livelihood. And I know it's not easy, but all that being said, I don't think it's worth being so consumed by stress that
Hmm.
it becomes detrimental to your health. You got to find some kind of peace there. And at the end of the day, I grew up on the south side of the city. I was raised by a single Black woman. And, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to make it happen. A smaller paycheck is better than a bigger one. A smaller title, just something to get by until an opportunity
Anything.
presents itself. Self-sustaining.
If you got to
Uh,
work at a call center during the day and wait tables at night, if that's what it takes to make it happen, make it happen.
Hustle and find solace in the fact that everybody is going through something right now because of all of these political things. I mean, that's not to minimize it, but just comfort and maybe if you even talk to other people, you might find that it'll be helpful. I know there's a lot of like sometimes shame and embarrassment around not being able to find a job or not having the job that you want and feeling like that you're failing. You're not failing. The country is failing,
Um,
and this is a symptom of that failure. So just tap in. If you're applying for director positions and things like that, chances are you've probably already done a lot of work to establish yourself and none of this moment right now means you're unworthy. It just means it's not happening right now. But that doesn't
yeah.
mean it will never happen. But you got to keep yourself going so that when that day comes, you are ready to accept it.
And make sure, and I think this is both for Mesmer for the job thing as well as for Sick and Tired for just how do we continue living life. Let's make sure we get something to do outside of job hunting and doom scrolling. We need to find some hobbies. We need to find something that fills our cup so that when we are getting informed and resisting and fighting back, or looking for jobs and applying to jobs and trying to find that, kind of parallelism here. When we're doing those things, we have a place to go for a break, to refill, to feel something that isn't the sheer crushing weight of our country.
Yeah. Oh, baby, go dance, listen to music, or audiobook, a podcast, jigsaw puzzles, a game. Put Allow yourself some kind of space to be
Something.
somewhere else. Because stress is only going to be stress, and ultimately, I do think it's very hard to accept that things are out of your control, but I do think it's necessary to know when it is and focus on those things of what I can do and where there is sort of movement, but do what you gotta do, girl.
Yeah.
Be a hustler, be a grinder.
Serenity or whatever that's the only thing I know about I'm not a religious person, but I do know that, and I actually do quite like that quote. The strength to change whatever, the knowledge to know.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
The strength to
Yeah.
change the things you can and the wisdom to accept the things you don't know, or something like
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah, and
Along those lines. Hard
something
things
like
to
that.
do. Life is gonna challenge you. This is just one of those challenges, and then you'll evolve.
And it's tough. It is tough. Like, I mean, like, truly every day waking up and finding out the government just is like today, an hour ago, I was looking at how the Homeland Security was demanding all the user info of anyone that criticizes ICE from like Discord and Twitter and Google and all this other shit. Yeah, it is crushing to have to see these things every single day. Um, but then I said, I gotta hop on this podcast. We're gonna have to give some people advice, and we're gonna put on a smile for a little bit, and we're gonna try to keep moving because doing this podcast brings me great joy. Talking with my friends brings me great joy. Seeing the reactions that people have to the things that we talk about gives me great joy, and joy is important.
Right. Just go out and kiki, girl. You just need a little kiki. Give you an everyday
Yeah.
little kiki. You can kiki at the nail salon. You can kiki at the spa. You can kiki, wherever you need to go. And then when it gets nice out, and maybe in this past week, go find a park. Just go sit in the park and
Touch
listen to.
grass.
And if you partake, and breaking you something down, rolling you something up, go sit in the park and enjoy yourself, girl.
Yeah. I
It's
went to the
40,
park
50
today with the
degrees out.
dog.
Get out that house, get out that room,
Mm-hmm.
go for a walk.
Open the window. If you're in the house and you don't want to go outside, just open a window. That alone makes a world of difference. Open a window, just get some fresh air through that bitch. Just, have a
Yeah.
coffee by your window.
Fill up on your body, girl. Sometimes we get so in our head, at least for me, and you become disembodied, and I'm like, oh damn, let me breathe in, let me fill my lungs, let me
Mm-hmm.
stretch and touch my toes. Let me,
Yeah.
because stress is in the body too. So you have to, it's physical and mental. It's all tied into one. So maybe you got some knots in your back. Maybe you need to go for a walk, go for a jog, get in the gym,
Look
drink a
up a
big
Groupon and
lot of
go to a
water.
local spa. I think a lot of people have this like idea that the spa is like super expensive and like unattainable or like you don't deserve it. You could find a Groupon to get a little 30-minute foot massage or go to like a King spa or a Russian or Korean spa. And you can find those for $30, $40. You can get something on the cheaper end to treat yourself. Your body should, not even to treat yourself, but just to release the stress in your body.
Right. In this, it's Black History Month. My people, my ancestors were slaves and they found a way to get through. And so I think more than anything else, remember that there's always a way to make it.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is not going to happen on your time. Sometimes an opportunity has to seize it, but when you have to seize an opportunity, but um, you know, hate to say that times have been worse or could be worse, and maybe this is the worst of times. I don't know. All I'm saying is that there have been people who quite literally had no control over their lives. They had no uh, opportunity to leave. There are people in parts of the world who are just under threat of things. And I'm not saying that as a juxtaposition to be like, first world, like you should be grateful. Um, just don't be defeated.
Yeah. I think that's the important part.
Your
Don't be
your
defeated.
human will is a lot stronger than you think it is. Take care of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and I think this person will be fine. But don't
Yeah.
let the stress consume you.
This is why my favorite anime trope. It's not even an anime trope. It's just a trope for stories in general. It's just the indomitable human spirit, the will of the human spirit. Anytime an anime character steps up and pushes past their limits and breaks a limb and keeps on fighting that bad guy and, you know, finds the will to keep it going.
Exactly.
I love that. I
What I
love
think
that.
about when I'm like, "Ah, everybody hates me. I don't know why the universe is against me." I watch a lot of animal like nature documentaries, and you know what? There will be like this wildebeest or this buffaloes like getting hunted down by a pack of hyenas or wild
Mm-hmm.
dogs. They on that ass, right? And it goes on for a while, and they wear the prey down, and
Mm-hmm.
the buffalo have a broken leg, or really, those animals will fight to their very, very last breath trying to get away. So, and a lot of them end up getting away. They may be injured and maybe in a bad spot, but even they have so much value in their own lives, and in concepts of familial bonds and cubs and the offspring to get back to. They fight for their life to the very end. So that's a lot of fight that nature has instilled in you. So you just got to tap into that inner beast in you, and don't let the wolves win, even if it's out of spite, just to spite your haters.
Okay.
There's probably a
Exactly.
bitch being like, that bitch been looking for a job for 2 fucking years. That bitch wants to be a director. She ain't directing shit, or they ain't directing shit. You gonna show them one day. You gonna shut their asses up. Stay
Yeah.
locked to that. Okay, use what you have. Whether if you're competitive, use that. Be like, fuck this shit, bitch. I'm gonna get me a motherfucking job.
Yeah.
150K a year. Benefits.
And when it happens, send
401K.
the update. Send the update. Because we want to see. We want to celebrate your successes as much as we
Right.
celebrate the stresses,
Right.
or
And
get
then when
through
you
the
get that,
stresses.
and then when you get that job, girl, don't be complaining about it. All right. Remember the fight that you had to get that
Yeah.
job. Don't up and quit. Don't do it. Don't, stay locked in.
Yep.
Remember the lessons.
Let's move on to something a little messier. Our final question for today is from Mortifying Date, a sex and love question. They write, I had been going on a few dates with this guy and it seemed to be really nice. He was pretty sweet, very caring, wanted to spend time with me. But the last time we spent time together, we were at his house and he clearly wanted to fuck. But I wasn't horny and wasn't interested in that yet. It was a bit awkward because he kept trying to get me horny. He wanted to cuddle, lay down. It was warm, so he suggested I undress. After a bit of awkward tension, I went home. I wasn't planning on spending the night anyway, and he texted me, You seem to be giving mixed signals, so I'm going to let you decide what happens next. And I told him I had a really stressful day at work and I just wanted to relax, that I'm interested in him, but tonight wasn't the night. A few days later, he texted me, So are we going to see each other again, or was that mortifying for us both? What do you think of that? Not sure if I'm being too sensitive, but I felt insulted by that. The idea that he was mortified that evening. I'm sure I wasn't the most pleasant that night, but I feel like that's a bit extreme. I never followed up, just ended up deleting his number and moving on. That was all a few months ago, so it's whatever. I'm no longer interested in him, but that comment bothered me, and I'm wondering if I might be too sensitive or if that was a fair comment to make. My first thought was that he meant it in the kind of way like he was mortified that he wasn't picking up on the fact that you weren't horny. But then I go back to the other text message where about the missed signals thing, and I think this guy just might be a little stupid.
I think everybody needs to work on talking. Don't say that you're tired and had a long day and were stressed after you leave. Just say it right there.
Yeah. Be like,
You
I
gotta
see what
you
you're
gotta speak
doing.
up for yourself.
I have to let you know I'm not horny whatsoever right now. I am interested in you. I'm not trying to fuck tonight. Stop trying to get me to take my clothes off. I don't care how warm it is in your
Right.
apartment.
You could even say that before you get all the way over there.
We're not fucking. I'll
Because
come
then
over, but we're not
he might
fucking.
say, okay, well then, just don't come. I might want to get to know you, but tonight this is the vibe that I'm on. Again, express yourself, baby. You got to speak up for yourself.
Yeah.
And consent is also important. He was probably mortified. I mean, I can't speak to anybody else's state of mind, but it could be mortifyingly awkward, and then like that second wave of awkwardness of self-embarrassment hits, kind of like you were saying, like not picking up those signs. But he also could be mortified because maybe he thought he made you feel uncomfortable. And
Yeah, I think it could be any number of those things. And I think him saying that in like the text message the days later was less like mortifying, like, how could you do this to me? And so, like, not so much on the person writing in, but just like mortified, being like, oh God, that was awkward, you know?
right. And it also just depends on the context of who that personality is. I mean, they could have meant it that way, but also at the same time, like, and not every situation you can, advocate and speak up for yourself. And consent should always be respected. And non-verbal communication, like I said earlier, is still communication. But in less extreme examples, be comfortable to say, "This is not what I want." Right? Express what it is that you want and give somebody the opportunity to meet you where you're at.
Yeah.
Don't just sit in uncomfortability. Don't
Hmm.
just make it feel awkward and get in your head and be like, oh, if I say I'm not
Is this
interested.
where the Gen Z stare comes from? Is it like that kind of same thing of like just sitting in uncomfortability and just like not communicating?
I don't know. I feel like I have different thoughts on the Gen Z stare.
Okay.
I think sometimes I don't even think it's a Gen Z thing. I think there are some of us out there who are dissociators, or
Really?
some girls who just look. Some girls sometimes they gotta take a deep breath before they start talking. I don't know. I never got the big thing around that. I
I never
don't.
understood it that much.
The millennial pause though, I find hilarious.
Yeah.
Because then once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like just everybody start speaking up for themselves. You will feel so much more powerful when you do, with these situationships, with your friends, with your relatives, with your family members. And there's a way you could speak up for yourself without being combative or coming off in the wrong way. Like
Which
you
I
can
think is
have
people's biggest
clear,
problem
developed
about it is they're like,
communication.
I don't want to start fights. I don't want to start problems. And you can stand up for yourself, and not even stand up for yourself. You can just talk and be assertive without being a problem.
And if they still take it the wrong way, I shut it down and I walk away. Because what am I arguing with you
Yeah.
for? What am I arguing with you for? And what am I going to get out of this?
Mm-mm.
No. And I enjoy a debate, but an argument or like rudeness, things that are like rooted in that tone when you're talking to somebody. I told you how I felt. If you're upset by that, then I'm just gonna get my stuff and go.
Yeah.
Right. Or, if you said, "What do you want to go from here?" Maybe that's also an indication that he's still interested, but like wants to, if you want space from, he
He
doesn't
reached
want
out
to
twice. He
yeah,
has reached out, so he's still interested. I just think he was. I think that text is more so rooted in him trying to move past the awkwardness of it
right.
than anything
That's
that
them
should be
asking
insulting.
how he should manage himself and set his expectations. Most relationships, friendships, romantic stuff,
Yeah.
you got to calibrate with each other for a little bit. And you got to figure out how you communicate. You got to challenge yourself and each other to communicate more clearly. And you just got to find that common ground. I find that so many people I've met and see online, especially young people, young queer people, maybe there's too much fiction out, too many young adult novels, but relationships don't simply happen. They don't fall into place. And even deceptively simple ones, like a friend with benefits or situationship, like it still requires communication and maturity and
Yeah.
expressing yourself and listening, even if you're not trying to date this person. So just engage with people the way you want to be engaged. You live in your head all the time, but nobody else does, Pookie. As much that would be a wicked superpower. I mean, also very dangerous one. But you gotta say what it is and let them
Yeah.
know what's going on. Some people you have to be very clearly direct with because that's the way they understand
I'm
things.
always saying closed mouths don't get fed on the show. This is kind of a reverse version of that. Closed mouths keep trying to get fed. You should have just said, I'm not trying to do that tonight.
I ain't trying
Boom.
to do that tonight. I would, and you may be surprised. You'd be like, you know what? Let's get some pizza. Let's watch a movie. Let's talk. You ain't got to stay here. Let's set it
Yeah.
for like after the movie ends and you can go home, because then, I don't want to hang out with somebody if I get the sense that they feel uncomfortable around me or you're not talking or
Yeah.
I feel uncomfortable around you. Then why are we here? Then why are we doing this?
He can, take care of himself with some personal lubrication and a nice toy, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of toxicity too. Like there's those people who short tempered and those are the bad stuff with hookup culture. And I think there are just as many, if not more, people who are more understanding than you give them credit for. So don't, work off assumptions. If you communicate, you may be thoroughly surprised at how people appreciate it and how positively they'll respond to it if you give them the opportunity to meet you where you're at and
Yeah.
also be open to hearing them out and meeting them
Mhm.
where they're at. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Just don't fight too hard for it.
I know this happened months ago, so it's not like we're giving advice on something that's happening currently. I think this guy seemed like he was still interested, but you kept it moving, and that's fine. Whatever happened for you at that time, maybe you come back together later. You're like, well, what if was he really hot? He must have not been, because otherwise you would have been like, I'll fuck him another day. I'll fuck him another day.
Right. Right. When you find them attractive, you're like, oh man, I'll let a couple things slide.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
at some point, it does come back down to the communication. You gotta
oh,
know what's
100%.
going on, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the word of the day for everybody from all these that came in.
Yeah,
If there's not communication happening, don't be talking to yourself in the messages, babe.
yep,
Do that. It's not going to get you where you want it to be. If he wanted to, he would. But also, you got to let people know where you want to go, where you're at.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Even if you're not sure, say, I'm not sure.
yeah,
Say something, but don't have a one-sided relationship. Don't have a one-sided conversation because it's just unfair to everybody involved.
exactly. I know I said that was our last question. This question came in like a day or two ago, and I saw it. I really only have one word to say on this. This is from anonymous. They write, "Is friends that make out a thing?" I'm tired of this conversation. I think this conversation is so overdone and tired. I'm just If you want to make out with your friends and have it be a thing, sure. If you want to make out with your friends and not make it a thing, whatever. Do or don't, I don't care. And I personally don't care to discourse over it. If you are able to make out with your friends and keep it chill, cool. If you're not, okay. But people really try to make it some moral judgment over other people because they do or don't make out with their friends. And it's really just up to you and your friends. And that's it. That's really all I have to say about that one.
That really is up to you and your friends. There are people, whatever works for their group. And that could be a friend group that's highly communicative and
Hmm.
healthy and things like that. I'm not sticking my tongue in any of my friends' throats because I'm like, sister, but we'll smooch. We'll do
Yeah, I gotta get
a little kiss goodbye.
of course, yeah.
A little bit like that's also a form of intimacy and a friendship. Some of your friends probably ain't been kissed in months. Kiss your friend, girl. Give us some time. Be like, hey, girl,
Yeah.
I'll
You don't gotta throw tongue down there unless you want to, but
y'all throwing tongue down there and then just be mature to navigate that situation.
yeah, exactly. We're gonna take another break and we'll be back with Nasty Plot, our final segment, where we give advice to people that didn't ask for it but damn well need it. Well, it's time for our final segment, Nasty Plot. This is the part of the show where we fry the smallest of fish. We give advice to people that didn't ask for it but they need it. And I have something. This isn't really like anger towards anyone. More so, just trying to like let people know what the deal is. Because I think a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm supporting my friends and stuff like that. And it's like sometimes with the way these social media apps work, support needs to look a little different. And I talked about this specifically with Ron last month after the show came out because he made kind of a jump into promoting more of his videography stuff. And we've just been like talking casually about it. And I got to thinking, I was like, okay, because a lot of people, they'll hit the like and that's it, or they might like comment like maybe like 3 fire emojis or something.
Mhm.
But the way that the Instagram algorithm works, it's like that doesn't hold any weight. So if you're leaving a comment, the comment has to be like over 5 words and should be pertaining to something in the video or something in the reel or like furthering a conversation or, now there's that reshare button, which is like the new thing that they're pushing. And so it's like sometimes putting it to the story doesn't matter as much. Resharing is the biggest thing to do. And you add the little comment on there. It's just so many different things and like the way that the app changes all the time. So I guess the thing that I'm really trying to get at here is like, hey everybody. So while editing this, like I was like kind of watching this back and I said, I think what I'm trying to say is kind of getting lost. I probably should have wrote my outline a little better for this part. What I will say is this isn't like anger directed toward anybody. I think everyone is doing fantastic. I think it's more so frustration towards Instagram and TikTok and social media apps writ large regarding how quickly the algorithm changes and how you have to constantly be adapting. And I think there are positives to that. I do think there is positives to continue to push your content forward and continue to adapt and make sure you're not just being stagnant. I think all that stuff is good, but I do think the AI programs that they are using to kind of run the algorithms are definitely making things difficult, similar to how it was making the job applications harder to get through. And one of the questions we answered earlier, I think it's something very similar happening here. And I think that's kind of the crux of what I'm getting at. And I don't think I fully articulated that as well as I probably could have. Take like 2 seconds, especially if it's someone you care about, do the reshare, leave a helpful comment, or just even if instead of 3 fire emojis we just say this looks really good, I love what you're doing, something like that, just something to further the conversation that way, because that stuff really matters, especially for people with smaller accounts and for people that are really trying to whether it's pushing videography or pushing a podcast or pushing commissions for art and things like that. I don't know, it's just something I had on my mind, less of a rant, more so just like the algorithms is the fucking worst, and so changing with it is important.
I think that's good to know for the people who like are already supporting you. Who like, oh, like if they're taking the time. I think I err more in the opinion of disregard the friends and just take the big swing. Just start honing whatever you're doing and putting out there to reach people who don't know you. They'll have far few, well, maybe not far few. They won't know you. They'll know the content. So you're
Yeah.
sort of like start off on a new page, they may develop like some kind of assumptions and things like that about you. I mean, that's to be expected, but your friends who support you are going to support you, and the people who are not doing it, or not doing it meaningfully, then that is what it is. I think just push it out there and you keep posting it. You have to really, especially with the social media things, and people have brought it to me. It's like, you should do this. And I'm like, everybody's a social media manager. One, you have to be ready, right? And you got to leave your clubhouse at some point. Like, it'll start with your friends and the followers that you do have in
Yeah,
the
100%.
go go for the big thing, like, and really use that to, I think it's a more accurate measure of how to do your content as well, because then you're getting feedback from people who eventually will want to see you succeed and win and things like that. And definitely ask your friends for support, ask for the engagement and stuff like that. Just, I don't know, some people get weird about it because then they ask for that and then their friends get weird and they're like, why
Oh
are
yeah.
you?
Okay. I have one friend. He knows this because I talk about this all the time. Anytime he posts on Instagram, he goes, "Go like and comment." I'm like, okay, I get it, but it's every time he posts. And mind you, he's not posting anything for like building a content or anything. It's just like a picture of him at dinner,
Um,
and I'm like, okay, I'll give
like
it.
he
I'll give it.
messages individually, like telling go like and
Yes,
comment.
yes. And I'm like, this is just a picture of you at the bar. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. With that, girl, I don't get too many of those, but when they do happen, you either serve cunt or you didn't. And I'm sorry, a lack of engagement. Like I said, no communication is communication. A lack of engagement. Take a note. I've said
yeah.
the same thing to myself.
And
And it gets
sometimes
nothing
shit
wrong with
flops. Sometimes shit flops, and that's all right.
put it on your story and say, hey, can y'all like, comment, and share on this? Going through the messages and
Yeah, no,
for
that might be
just
too
like a
much.
selfie or a pic or something like that, girl. And it's like, well, if you are posting the thing, you think this is a fire pic. If the pic is fire, then the people are gonna like it.
I think what I was more so getting at is not to call people out, but like just that what the algorithm asks for might be a little different than what a lot of people perceive it to be. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's kind of like the big because I follow some like some accounts that like go through and like do the research on what the weights are for the algorithm and how it changes, and they're constantly updating this shit, and it's just like we just
Updating
gotta
it.
adapt with
Site
it.
has its own algorithm.
The YouTube
But
one,
yeah,
I haven't
say
even
that.
like the YouTube one stresses me the fuck out. I don't really care about that one as much. I just
That's like Premier League, girl.
yeah,
Man,
I don't
they've
really
been
do it.
established for so long. They're like, this is what it is, and this is what it ain't.
Yeah. And then TikTok just swapped hands, so I kind of stopped even looking at TikTok or touching it. I'm just going to delete that outright.
They traded hands, and all of a sudden, my account wasn't being recommended anymore. They flagged my account. I appealed it, and they took it down, and they flagged it again. So the part of it now, people's like, you should post on Reels. I was like, I don't know. I'm just not vibing with Reels like that. But
Yeah.
I ended up doing it for Valentine's Day because I have like been trying to post to TikTok and it just will not like push it out. Like it's 0 views, which that's like not engaged. That's like your nuts not being shown. And
Yeah.
they flagged me for that. They're like, we're not going to circulate your videos because you're
Weird.
impersonating a person. And I'm like, girl, I'm me. Maybe
Impersonating a
never,
person.
maybe you ain't never seen a bitch like me before, but bitch, I'm me.
Damn.
So, but yeah, it's good to tell people about that and or yeah, like share videos and where they teach you about those like algorithms. They can be
Yeah.
tricky, they can be faulty, and just a lot of other things.
And it's not an exact science. It's weird. Yeah, Reels is it's an option. It's better than YouTube Shorts. I'll say that. YouTube Shorts might be
I
the
haven't
bottom
even
of the
tried to look
barrel.
at a YouTube short. I
I
don't
post
think.
them because the YouTube is there, so I do post them when I like the same shit that I posted to the Instagram gets posted to the YouTube Reels. It's a cesspool over there.
Yeah, YouTube is long form. It's long form. That's what you do best. Nobody else is touching that. Um,
Yeah.
but I guess it was obligatory for them to try to see if it would have
Oh
any
yeah,
movement.
I
But it
guess.
may also be shit because like they might have just like lost interest in promoting it.
I think it does, like, because when I see that one of my YouTube shorts has like a decent amount of views, I'll go through and you could check the click through rate because you can put a related video. So I relate all the videos back to the full episode, right? Because I'm like, okay, you thought the short was funny, click it and watch it. And sometimes it's like a decent click through rate. So I'm like, okay, I guess I should keep posting on shorts. But damn, and shorts might be the only place that I get hate comments.
Okay, okay, girl, you on the up and up.
I was like, oh, you know, when you start getting hate comments, that's when you got it made.
The girl's been hateful on YouTube.
The Barbs, one of the Barbs was trying to argue with me on one of my YouTube shorts the other day.
Girl, don't say the
I
name
did
out
not.
loud. They
I
gonna
know.
come.
I didn't argue back. I said,
They
because
gonna
if
come.
you are still, if you're still there now, you're beyond saving.
That's exactly where they want to be.
Yeah,
I can't do nothing for her now.
my sister done burned too many bridges.
She, my sister didn't burn every bridge that has ever bridged,
Yeah.
that's ever been built. She
Yep.
burned them all. And some of y'all want to still fool with her. That's fine, girl. But
Mm-mm.
just know it's been some things out here, girl. I've been in bars. I've been seeing drunk drag queens saying, let's play this Nicki song. And I've seen the queens get booed. Say no, we don't want to hear it. So culture is moving past that and her. And if you want to be a relic of the past, then girl, you can be
Bash
past.
was saying that when they were DJing at Splash one time, some twink kept coming up to the DJ booth and kept writing some song by her on their phone, talking about play this, play this.
That's so embarrassing. Let this be my last piece of advice. Do not approach a DJ.
This is your nasty plot.
Don't approach a DJ and request a song if they don't have a sign or on a microphone saying I'm taking requests, which they probably never will. Don't request a song. If you're not feeling the music, go somewhere else where they will play that
Mm-hmm.
music.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Mm-hmm.
straight places, a lot of places outside of the strip, semi-straight places, they're still playing Nicki. You could still find her. Like there are still people on her side. And if you're one of those who are on her side, you can find places where they're going to play her
I'll tell you
or any
this.
kind of music that you like. Like,
Open your phone. There's an app called Touch Tunes. It'll tell you every place in your neighborhood that has a Touch Tunes machine. And you could go there and play all the music you want to hear.
right, go explore, find a new place to dance, especially if you live in a city like Chicago, like New York. I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
the club and music scene is so vast and diverse. Like if I don't think there's ever really a reason to go up and request a song.
Ever.
Approaching a DJ like Gay Bash
Who does
and
like a
requesting a
curated
song
mix.
is so embarrassing. And I know not everybody knows, but it's like it's so embarrassing. And that's why you should never do it because like, oh, this might be a DJ who hasn't established some as a thing. And maybe in fact why everyone else in this room is here. Besides me and my friends who stumbled in here, and now we want to hear super bass. Like, girl,
Yeah.
you are in Smart Bar and Gay Bash is on the ones and twos and turning the music, or another DJ is on like turning the music. Shut your mouth, enjoy your drink, and give yourself to the music and the dance floor, or take yourself to a different venue.
Yeah.
But don't go up berating, asking, play this song. It's just a chop.
It's not worth it. It's just it's not a cute look ever.
It will always be embarrassing. You could do like you're doing amazing, sweetie. You could leave a comment. You
Uh-huh.
could like,
Yeah.
I want your Venmo for a tip. Uh,
Uh-huh.
but don't go up in somebody's
Go up with a
job telling
heart.
them how to do their work.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Leave it to the touch tunes. And on that, the nasty pots are closed. Let the people know where they can follow you, where they can keep up. Are you going to be posting more monologues on the reels?
I feel like I will be. I feel like I was always telling people, I was like, I'll do it when I'm ready. I'll do it when I feel like it, and when I'm at that. I was doing it on my stories, which is on Instagram, TikTok. I don't have an X or a Twitter. I deleted that some time ago because child the red pill content. And as somebody who studied media, propaganda is real and it works, girl, even if you're trained and fortified against it. And I was like, you're just flooding things with me. It starts off with this is ridiculous. What the hell are they talking about? Now, before you know it, now you've watched this video for 30 seconds and they're going to push another one and another one and another one. And you're going to be arguing with your screen back and forth. And then all of a sudden, girl, boom. You found
I had to stop looking at it for the longest. I was really only on there for like comic book stuff, And now they just send me like the most like tired comic book discourse. I'm like, I just can't do this anymore. I just gotta get rid of it.
Yeah, that was just a terrible app. It functionally it became horrible too because it was also like it's red pill content and it's ads. And my goodness, I just need to say it's so evil how they're pushing the gambling. Like people are screaming and hollering about how they cannot afford their homes, and you're like, hey, you know what you should do? You should bet on this game. You
And
should
not they're betting on stuff that they're like betting on the weather.
like
That's
it's not
crazy to me. We're at the point where people are betting on the weather, betting on who is gonna wear this, or how many times we're gonna hear this, or who's gonna say this word in this event. This is crazy.
it's so maniacal that there are RICO charges being brought against one of those companies. I can't remember which one it was,
They're
but one of
all.
those betting companies. And then I think Drake was in it, and then
Mm-hmm.
a streamer was in it who took shots at Doechii because I don't know why he did it. It was stupid, but it's just yeah. It's a lot going on, girl. So be on guard on the socials. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of funny business going
Yeah.
around. But you can find me, the Afro B, just like that. No underscores. It's not Rob. It's not the AF Rob. It's not the A Rob. It's not the Afrobe. Baby, it's the Afro B. Get it
Okay.
that. Or you just
Okay.
call me B, you call me Brian. It kind of turned into a stage name, and I never really intended it for it to be.
Yeah.
But here the girls just go by whatever your Instagram name is. As long as it's on the right path of being my name, I'll respond to you, girl. But give
I
me a
feel
little
the same
follow.
way because I started at the bar. I started going by Jay primarily, so it's like if you meet me at the bar, I'm giving you Jay as the name, and it's like if you call me Jay, you call me Jay, you call me anything around there. I don't mind.
Right. People are like, but what do you want to be called? And I'm like, listen, baby, Brian is not a dead name. Let me say this to people because they be like, what do when queer people are like trying to be overly woke and they're like,
Yes, and I had this
I'm,
conversation with someone because they specifically asked. They were like, "So, do they only go by B?" I was like, "No."
which is so
Like,
sweet. Which is so
yes, the impetus behind it is very sweet. They want to make sure that you're
we should.
comfortable in any conversation they have with you.
And I love that. There are friends of mine for years, and I feel comfortable saying this about Yao because that's my sister. She was introducing people, and she said, "Yo, this is B, and they're them, and they're," and I said, "They them." Girl, I never told you they them. I said, "I am a boy, Damon, and I love they thems. I love non-binary people. I'm in a relationship with a non-binary person. There's no from that, but I'm like, girl, you know me for 5 years." And that's the thing. The girls always want to make you a doll. And I'm like, no, let the dolls be dolls. The dolls are doing a great job dolling all without me. I'm going to be over here over in my lane, aligning with how I align. I'm never offended if they, them, and stuff like that, and people getting to know me. But it's just shocking sometimes. I'm like, girl, you know me for a long time. And they're like, you're on your sister journey. I'm not on my sister journey, sister.
Oh,
I'm on a
you
complete
better watch out. The sniper is gonna have some moans aimed
I'm
at
here to
you on
I'm
stage
here
next
to
time,
preserve Butch Queen culture. You know?
and I love that.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'll put on a little blush, little makeup every now and then, girl. Not anymore. I'm out of that era and I'm over it. But I was just like, this is, I was like, girls, we're getting a little bit beside ourselves. Y'all calling me Rob. Y'all calling me different pronouns, and you people know
Rob, they,
it
them. This is
is.
a fully different person.
This is a different bitch. All right. I don't know who that is. And she might be great. They might be great, but they ain't me.
Yeah,
It's only one me, honey.
the AF Rob. She's upcoming in the season, in the scene.
Y'all,
The AF Rob. She's coming up.
y'all better come on now. And then work too hard. I feel like I'm in my Bridgerton season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did come up with a drag name the other day.
What was your drag name, girl?
I don't know if this is my drag name, but I was at the cafe and I put my order in, and I said, "That's a good drag name, Honey Cortado." Honey Cortado.
So,
You don't.
you always have the strangest coffee orders.
A honey cortado? That's not strange.
I don't know.
It's just honey and espresso.
It's just honey and espresso.
Well, a cortado it's got all that foam bit on it. I forget if it's half and half. Let me look this up. What is a cortado exactly? I was a
Taking
barista for years. I should know this.
in the coffee because I mean nothing wrong with honey in the coffee.
Okay, a cortado. This is what I thought it was: equal parts espresso and steamed milk.
That's not a cappuccino.
No, because a cappuccino. Hold on. I
I'm
got.
genuinely asking. I don't know.
I have the like the whole thing pulled up. So a cappuccino is mostly milk foam with a little bit of steamed milk and espresso. So you have that thick foam on a cappuccino.
Uh-huh.
A cortado, it has no foam. It's like equal steamed milk and espresso, but there's none of that foam up top really.
Okay, so what's a latte?
A latte is espresso and milk.
They
But
don't
it's
steam.
it's way more milk. It is steamed milk if you get it hot. So it's way more steamed milk. Like it's like a 25-75 kind of situation.
Uh-huh.
A cortado is 50-50.
You know what? I don't even care about this. Give me my coffee. Make sure it's 2 shots of espresso and then whole milk.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Honey
do like it.
cortado.
I enjoy a honey lavender though.
See,
I
I
just didn't
like
know. I just didn't know what a cortado was.
cortado
I
is one
think
of
I
those.
was thinking
It's
of the
served in a
Americano.
tiny.
I think I was thinking of the Americano. Which one is the one where it's espresso and water? That's the one I
That's
think.
an Americano.
Okay, I thought it was honey, espresso, and water, and I was like, no about that.
No. The cortado is just the milk and the espresso. I like it with a little honey in there for sweetener.
No, put some milk in my coffee.
The milk is in there,
I'm just saying.
but it is
And
it's a smaller drink. It's served in like in a bigger shot glass, basically.
a little shot of coffee.
Kind of. I think. Well, it's just maybe a 4 ounce glass. It's tiny.
I can't do nothing with that.
You want a lot. You want a full drink. Say
I need
eight
a full.
ounces.
I need a full one. I like to take my time and sip my latte.
Okay. See, I get a cortado when I'm on the run. If I want something real quick to drink, boom, I'm getting a cortado.
Okay, maybe I try a little cortado.
It's
But
cute.
if it's half the drink and it's the same price as a full,
No,
I'm gonna be
they're
echo
cheaper.
towards that.
They're cheaper.
Okay.
It's cheaper, yeah.
Some of these girls like to play games in these cafes.
Now, if you start adding a bunch of bullshit to it, you want like a pump of this and a pump of that, then the price goes up. But if you just get a cortado and I just get a little drizzle of honey in it, they don't charge you for the extra drizzle of honey. And sometimes it's in the self-serve area. You make it yourself.
Oh no, I'm not a Starbucks girl. I don't need all
Oh,
that.
I don't do
Because at that
Starbucks.
point, I fully believe it just becomes a milkshake. Like it's just so much sugar.
Uh-huh.
It's not even the coffee anymore. And then now there's so much sugar in it that the sugar crash is going to counteract the espresso. So I'm usually a latte cappuccino person. If
Yeah.
I get a little flavor in there, it'll be brown sugar or it'll be vanilla, unless they have
Mhm.
specialty flavors on their menu. But if they're like straightforward business, we got vanilla and we got caramel syrups, and that's it. I'll make some shape with that.
Yeah. Anywho, I've been Jake. I've been Jake. You can follow me at Krogunk for my personal stuff, at Poison Touch Pod for all the things for the podcast. I've been also having the idea of doing more non-clip related content on there in terms of reels. So I don't know what that will entail. I've got a couple ideas on the platter. But yeah, keep up there because I'm trying to put out more shit because just the clips is cute, but I want to add. We gotta beef this thing up a bit.
One
As
with your
far
vlog era.
Yeah, but yeah, I might have to. I might have to.
You do
I
you do so much. And the fact that that trip to Japan, correct me if I'm wrong, was not a vlog. It absolutely should have been.
and I think part of it is that I just have so much fun doing all the things that I don't want the stressors of having to film it all because that takes away from the experience for me.
Well, then start off small. Give us something low, a quick little 60-second
Get ready with
vlog
me.
where you could pull out that phone at some point. You could record a little something and then do mostly a voiceover. It got to be a whole 30
I'll
minute
talk
hour.
about this. I did have a problem recently because when I was thinking about doing more reels, I said, let me get one of them little microphone things, the little lavaliers that
Uh-huh.
people use for TikToks. I found out shit I can't because I forgot that my phone dongle don't work anymore. I can only
Oh,
use the MagSafe. So I guess I gotta use Crunchy Audio, but oh well.
well, I'm sure they make like some Bluetooth ones.
I thought about it. I looked it up. Bluetooth apparently is a bad quality or a bad carrier of like audio quality in
Uh-huh.
terms of like for microphones. So there's like none that have a receiver like that. I would have to get a separate like a lav that has a separate receiver and then just like take that audio file and just upload
I was
it.
going to say then it's either time to get a new phone or to get a separate device.
I think I'm just gonna have to get the separate device because my phone still works. It's just the dongle that don't. So eventually I'll get a new phone. I'm not in a rush for it because all these phones are the devil. And they're expensive. They're
They
pricey.
are expensive. But you gonna make it shake. You can give me a
Yeah.
little short form blonde. You can do that.
Well, we'll see. Well, yeah, on the reels
You're
because
already filming, editing this podcast, girl. You just add on a little bit at a time. Test it, launch it.
yeah.
I think it'll be. I would enjoy it. I would sit and watch it. I'll comment 6 words.
Hey, six. But yeah, when the algorithm tells you it's more than five, now we gotta do six. All right, it's been real. Always enjoy talking to you. I always have fun with you.
Well, yes.
Let's go see a movie sometime.
Yes, let's do it. I always have so much fun talking to you. Thank you for having me
Of
again.
course.
Poison Touch community. Listen, it's been real. Y'all showed me so much love. I love y'all a lot. Y'all are really down to clown with me. And in summary, stop fixating on the things you can't have and focus on the things that are obtainable for you,
Yup.
and get physical and get moving towards your goals,
Uh-huh.
and just find whatever peace you can in the day to day, honey.
The strength to change what you can, the wisdom to accept what you can.
Hey,
One day we're gonna understand what Serenity says. I'm gonna be able to fully quote
I
it on
get
this
it.
podcast. That day is not
Absolutely.
today.
Absolutely.
Yup.
Yeah.
I'll
Stand up,
catch
girl.
y'all on the
Love
flip.
yourself.
Mwah. Poison Touch is produced, edited, and hosted by me, Jake Munoz. If you like what you see, give us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. It really helps us get out to more people. I'll catch you on the flip.
Baby, it's the Afro B.